What's going on, guys? JSGC here, and we are here for another episode of Manchester City latest news, covering what's happened in the past week with all the news with Manchester City. So we're going to crack on with this video, and first up we're going to be talking about the Champions League, and we're going to be talking about Manchester City versus Schalke. We had the home match last week. City ended up winning 7-0. We won 10-2 on aggregate, emphatic win. We're through to the quarter-finals of the Champions League. We're still in that Q word. Leroy Sané and Gundogan helping with their knowledge of German football to help dictate and obliterate Schalke and send us into the quarterfinals. So, big couple of months coming up. And speaking of Schalke, they have now sacked their manager after the game. So, Domenico Tedesco, he's gone. Good young coach. He's been very successful with Schalke over the past few years. However, he's had a very difficult season this season. Sees himself sitting in a relegation battle in the Bundesliga. They've been obliterated and humiliated by an English side. They've not put up with it. Apparently they weren't happy about some haircuts or something like that. But he's a good young coach. I'm sure he'll come back stronger, and I'm sure we'll see much more of him in the future. I feel bad for him. Like I said, he's done well with Schalke. He's got them to the Champions League last season, and then he's ended up having this, and now he's no longer in a job. So chin up for him, and hopefully he'll bounce back. He's a good young coach. Now, speaking of the Champions League, we've had the draw. City have drawn Tottenham away, in case you've been living under a rock. We've got them at home in the second leg, so we're away from home first. We've also had the semi-final draw. We're going to be up against Ajax or Juventus. It means that we've avoided Liverpool or Porto, who've drawn each other, and we've also avoided Manchester United versus Barcelona. The final's going to be at Atletico Madrid round, so if you weren't aware of that, then the final's going to be in Madrid. I think it's in the first week of June. So City are going to be playing Tottenham away. It's going to be at Tottenham's new stadium. That's big, that, isn't it? So yeah, there we go. It's going to be their second game, their first big European game. They've got some tests going on, Tottenham, over the course of the next week or so. And then they've got the first game, which I think the FA Cup semi-final has now been moved because they were scheduled to play Brighton, who are now playing Manchester City at Wembley. So they're going to be playing, I think it's Crystal Palace on the midweek of the week before, after the international break. So we're talking the first week of April. And as long as it gets all the clearances and it passes all them tests and passes through the Premier League game, then our match will be played at Tottenham's brand new stadium. So looking forward to that. It'll be a very interesting game, I'm sure. And like I said, it's important that we've avoided Manchester United, we've avoided Barcelona, we've avoided Liverpool and FC Porto too. So Ajax or Juventus is the one to keep an eye out for. Now, Manchester United were drawn away from home against Barcelona too, because they're now lower ranked than what Manchester City were. Current Premier League champions, was in pot 1, of course, were higher ranked than Manchester United in the European rankings. It means that Manchester United have to move their match, because they weren't going to have City and United playing on the same day, nor on corresponding days next to each other. So Manchester United will be at Old Trafford first against Barcelona. And if I'm honest, I find you always prefer to play away from home first and then play at home second, because you know what you need to do in front of your own fans. I always think there's a bit of an advantage as long as you can stay in the tie in the first leg. So that's the task we're facing against Tottenham. We're going to be at home, however, for the semi-final, if we get there, against Juventus or Ajax. So that'll be a very difficult game. So we need to try and pick up some kind of result, knowing that we need to do something away from home. Interesting, very interesting. The ticket prices have been released. There was cheap enough for Schalke, this time making them more expensive, £45 for a general sale cheapest ticket, which I find, I wanted to go to this game, I'll be honest. I've got some time off work then. I was hoping the price would be cheap enough for me to be able to go, but we're looking at what me and taking a friend costing £90 plus. That's a lot of money, that's a lot of expense, so yeah, that won't be happening. I'm a big fan of the 20s plenty. I don't really like paying any more than £30 for a ticket, so that won't be happening. There we go. I have principles, and that's my principle. If it means we're missing the game, it means we're missing the game. There we go. Next up, Sterling, Delph, Walker and Stones, they've all been called up to the England international duty. However, John Stones and Fabian Delph have now both withdrawn from their squad, so I'm hoping that John Stones will be able to focus on his recovery over the next 2 weeks, and we should have him back fresh and ready to go for the final push towards the end of the season. So fingers crossed both their injuries aren't too serious, and hopefully they're just lying injuries so they can be back after the international break. Next up, Bernardo Silva. He's signed a contract extension this week. He's got a 6-year deal now, so he's on for Manchester City till 2025, fending off interest from Real Madrid there. And that's one of the best pieces of business that we've done in the last couple of years. So good to see Bernardo Silva signing on. Now, next up, there's been rumours of a transfer ban over the next 2 windows coming in. I've already covered that in the Manchester City transfer news. You want to go and check the video. I'll leave a link to that at the end of this video if you want to hear more details about that. That was according to The Sun. This was all to do with about young players in Manchester City. I think the deal with Jadon Sancho, bringing him from Watford, and also Manchester City's third-party academy issues that they're having with Nordjylland and bringing players from an academy in Ghana. I've given more details on that video, so go and check that out. Next up, City were in action at the weekend. We ended up coming from 2-0 behind to win 3-2, thanks to a couple of dodgy goals. That penalty that probably shouldn't have been a penalty, and that offside goal, that was a good yard or half a yard offside, ended up seeing us come from 2-0 behind for the first time under Pep Guardiola to end up winning 3-2. We're through to the semi-finals. Again, we won't be mentioning that Q word. The draw for the semi-finals also been done. We've drawn Brighton at Wembley for the FA Cup semi-final. So that now means that our match with Cardiff will probably be moved, but we've not got details on that yet. I imagine we will over the next day or two. And only slot we've got available is that little midweek where Tottenham's playing Crystal Palace. So I imagine that'll be when the Cardiff home game is. So that game in hand that Liverpool's got on us might not be standing for very long, but they'll play again at the weekend, so they'll have the game in hand back. So yeah, it's all about psychology at the moment. The other semi-final obviously is Watford versus Wolves. Wolves, of course, knocked out Manchester United. Watford ended up going through too, so that'll be an interesting game. And Manchester City against Brighton. We're waiting for ticket details. They've not been announced as of yet with me doing the video, but I'm expecting them to be announced very soon. I think the cheapest tickets for them will be £30 rather than £40 for the Carabao Cup final. And last but not least, speaking of Liverpool, Liverpool beat Fulham away at Craven Cottage 2-1. Man City are also playing at Craven Cottage in our next game. That's not going to be for another couple of weeks after the international break, but we do play before Liverpool. So like I said, they've got a game in hand, but it's all about psychology at this moment in time. Fact is, win our games, win the Premier League. Simple as that. We've got 6 goal difference on them. They've got 7 games left. We've got 8 games left. Lots of games to play, very interesting. Our proper game in hand to gain it back from Liverpool is on April 24th, so not for another month or so, away at Old Trafford. It's going to be difficult. We're 2 points behind, and heading into international break, Liverpool will feel good about that. They might have blown a 7-point gap on us, but they'll feel good heading into this international break that they've got something to play with, because they very nearly dropped points against Fulham, thanks to a Fulham goalkeeper mistake that they ended up winning that game 2-1. But there we go. Fact is, 8 wins. We'll pick up the Premier League. So yeah, no Q word. So there we go. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy this video, make sure you press the thumbs up, and so I know that you enjoyed this video, so I know that you liked the video. Make sure you subscribe, press the red button and press the bell and put your push notifications on. We're aiming for 2,500 subscribers. We've gained a load of subscribers over the last day or so. You all seem to love the reaction videos. We've got another one coming up next week, so go and check out them videos. Go and check out my transfer updates. We've got another one coming out tomorrow. We've got loan reports for all the City players out on loan coming up over the next week or so, so make sure you stay tuned for that. We've got plenty of content coming throughout all of the international break. Players might be getting a rest, but JSGC is not. So yeah, go and check out my social media links. They're in the description below, my Twitter and Instagram. Go and show me some love over there. Go and help boost up my numbers there by following me on there. Subscribe over here, and I'll see you all again for the next video. So I'll see you all again tomorrow. So it's been JSGC. I hope you all have a lovely rest of your day. Peace. Ciao for now. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.